Welcome to today's lesson. You're going to be doing an ecosystems lab activity. Go to the Google Classroom, open up the Friday 1211 tab. You're going to sign in for daily attendance. You're going to watch my posted Edpuzzle instructional video for the lab activity. You're watching it now. Then you're going to complete the lab activity, and I'd like you to come to my Zoom so we can go over your results. I'd like to see what answers you've gotten. In doing this lab activity, a useful resource is going to be from Tuesday 12/8, Day 1, the PowerPoint, Introduction to Ecology. Specifically slides 5 and 6, where we talk about ecological levels of organization. We talk about species. And species are organisms that can breed and produce fertile offspring. A population is just a group of that species. A community, we go up a little further, and it's a group of organisms, but contains different species. Now in an ecosystem, our next level of ecological organization, that's all the living organisms that have a place, and they interact with each other and their physical environment. Moving up, a biome, a group of ecosystems that have similar organisms and climates. So examples could be grasslands, forests, deserts, and tundras. We'll go into more details in the lab. And here's a visual representation, what you'll need to know for this lab. We have a species, an individual, then a population. These are all the same species. In the community, different species, an ecosystem. Looks like there's some land, grass, some water, a biome, and then the biosphere, which is all the life, physical and living and non-living, Earth. Now let's transition back into our lab activity. Open up the Google form, Ecosystems Lab Activity. You're going to fill it out. It's going to record your email address, first and last name, class section. All right, and now here's where the fun part starts. In this lab activity, you'll be observing and describing levels of ecology. You can do this from the comfort of your own home, or even venture outside, or look out the window. Venturing outside, if the weather's good, should weather permit. You're going to be observing an ecosystem. Going to be observing ecology. And first, you're going to identify a species or an individual you observe. Now, this might be an animal, it could be a person. Be creative. I'm going to be creative in my example. But of course, this is just an example. I don't want to see my answers written as your answers. So, I'm going to describe the species or individual. I'm going to choose me. So, Mr. Maurer. I'm a human. Now the population. The population, let's see. I'm in the school, take the school building. So the population, the people who are the same species of me, humans who work in the school, the high school. Maybe other teachers, behavioral specialists, the dean, and so on. Describe the community you observe. This could be a little bit difficult in the school, but when you're looking outside, you'll see many different animals, or maybe even at home you might have pets. But we really don't have too many animals in the school. So let's see. Of course, I'll put me, other humans, right? Because community includes the same species, but also different species. So I'm going to have to be creative with this. There's got to be bugs somewhere in the school. You know, maybe a spider here or there, unfortunately. Maybe even little microorganisms, like little bacteria. No matter how much we clean, they're always going to be on, tables. That's why it's important we wash our hands and we don't put our hands up to our mouths. So there we go. An ecosystem. I'm going to keep this simple. I'm just going to ask you either land or water. And of course, the school, my ecosystem that I'm describing, is on land. In identifying the biome, I'm going to ask you to click on this link, and should it load, it's going to list examples of different biomes. Okay, so the page loaded. I had a little bit of trouble with it. If it doesn't load for you, you may need to copy and paste and go to it. It's going to talk about different types of biomes and give you different examples of biomes in the world. Rainforests, temperate forests, deserts, tundras. However, if you're doing your biome about the environment here, it's most likely going to be, we could tie it in with a temperate forest. Of course, in Syracuse, right in the city, there's not too many trees, but there's some. So this is a kind of forest where there are 4 relatively distinct seasons, right? We have summer, fall, winter, and spring. Many of the trees shed their leaves in the fall and become inactive through the cold winter. In these forests you find deer, woodpeckers, and bears, some of which hibernate through the winter. So I think the school and the biome we live in would be a temperate forest. But you can make your own decision based on this list. Now, what's the biosphere? This one's a pretty simple one. So the biosphere is all of the living and non-living entities on planet Earth. So, planet Earth. And that will conclude our lab. You need to click submit below, and you will be emailed a copy of your responses. And that's it for the lab. Come to Zoom for assistance. Thanks.